Good morning. Sorry for the late start. Yeah, better late than never, right? If the market was going anywhere. Pretty much the same thing as has been coma like trading. Little wiggles here and there just to get the unsuspected going in one direction, flip it in the other, vice versa. Anyway, as you can see, the S&Ps are still in the upper part of this wide range bar as we go into the holiday. And he's just drifting. That was the down move, and just kind of drifting here, really slow. And no changes on the weekly. And you know, the way this is moved, it's hard to imagine anything's going to happen today. No news, say. And so as we go into, I guess, coming back in the new year, it isn't going to sit here like this. So the thing is, the only way it could make a significant move, I mean, unless there's news, right? As we start out, would be for it to go up. It's not extended, really. You're just looking at the S&Ps. Just a weird kind of a pattern that's just been in this trading range. And the price action acts bullishly. It's quiet. I guess any kind of a news could get it moving significantly to the downside if that was what's in the cards. And the reason I say that is, look, it's got support here and it's got support here. And then it's got a little bit of a void. So, just thinking about, unless there's a news item, what could move this market? Right, Peter. The Georgia thing and, whatever Mr. Trump might have up his sleeve, like a 44 Magnum and some machine guns and tanks or something to run over, Sleepy Joe. I don't know. Something crazy maybe has to happen. And, but so the pattern here, none of us, I think, and maybe that is, the thing to put us on edge, that as we look at chart readers in a similar way, other than saying momentum is slowing down, which it is, uh, it suggests it's going to go higher, right? So it's the same story. Bottom of the screen bar, excuse me, support, and you got this little cluster there, and then here. So intraday, maybe we get something going. I just don't suspect anything of significance going on here. How many people already just saying, I'm not going to participate today. Dow, NASDAQ, a little sideways, nothing. Pivot lows there, a whole bunch of them. So when I look at that and say, well, the market says, Greg, what would you wish for? Please let it break these lows. It's got some room to drop. I mean, at least for an intraday trade, it's got some room to get going. And because of this sideways price action, I would suspect it could go through there. Right? That might be a stopping point, probably would be on the way down, especially if it went down fast, but it should continue to go down now. If that should be, well, then we're going to have a little bit of a bearish pattern, especially if it's a wider bar that would come down into that level. Yeah. QQQ 312 volatility. Gamma. Is that a gamma flip? Yeah, I love talking about big stuff like that. It's so interesting. Everybody gets like, wow, we're going to make $1,000,000 with that gamma flip stuff, man. Let's not forget to look to the left. All right. Same story. Chopping sideways. 312. That's not far away. That's like, I would call it a gamma trip, McGraw. Like tripping over your shoelace and fall down and like, "Ah, what a moron." And get back up again. It's like right there. Chop, chop, chop. SPX. I don't know. I think Trader McGraw had the best idea yesterday, and went out to today with the strikes. And I'd say downside limited. And I don't even have my other screens. I'm lazy here today dealing with some stuff. Not lazy, just dealing with some stuff. 3,700. I say 3,700. Below that, um, I don't think it goes down below 3,700 on a closing basis. And up above the high here, 3,760. Get away from 3,760 and get away from 3,700. Maybe do an iron condor if it starts to come down into the middle, and get both sides of it today. Kind of a weird weekly pattern, wouldn't you say? A little sideways. 4 weeks of going sideways with bottoming tail bars, and it gaps up and it goes nowhere. Maybe that's bearish. I don't know. I look at resting periods as points where, okay, you gap up. If there's sellers that want to take their profit, comes down into the gap fill, buyers show up and it rips to the upside. Or obviously could just take off. It's doing nothing. No, I mean, everybody's waiting for next week. Which, look, if you want to, you get a note, send you a note. Your better half knows that you're allowed to get away from the computer. You can go out and do stuff if you want. What time frames do you have on these charts? 1,000 memories. I like that name. This is a daily chart. Don't ask me in YouTube. This is a 60-minute chart. This is a weekly chart. This is a 15-minute chart. And this is a 5-minute chart. Nothing magical about them. You can put any time frame charts on your platform that you want to use. If you can make money, you'll do it with any time frames. You can't, you can't. We don't subscribe to magical time frames and you know Fibonacci tick charts and all that kind of thinking. Just Dow just more sideways, going nowhere. And Russell probably going to hang here, right? We got a topping tail and it's here. You can make a head and shoulders top out of that, right? There you go. That's kind of textbook. And then nasty drop. So that's kind of bearish. That's been leading. Kind of holding here. I spoke about that yesterday as far as a short goes. I said, hey, I'd rather this go up a little bit, you know, not go up with one giant big green bar. No, it's got to kind of like, it falls off the roof and it's got two broken legs and it kind of acts like this and it just drags itself up, you know, in pain and eventually it starts to roll and you just knock it on its head and you kick it over the edge again. So it's kind of weird. Bonds, they're just doing nothing here. Tighter and tighter. And oil sideways. We're gonna have a boring day. I think oil, doing nothing. Silver, just shaping up. It looks okay. Gold, looking better and better. Looking better. It's staying above the 50. It's regained. Obviously, the 200 is going sideways. it's the end of the year, but I think it's let me get ready here. And the transports are just quiet. It's just got this rounding top that we've talked about, and we'll see when we come back from the holiday if it's ready to break below these lows here, and that's going to be one of the indications. You guys are talking a lot about FUBU. I think cratering. But maybe it would find itself some floor here. 31. Maybe it'll keep falling into 10 o'clock and we can buy it. 28. Sentiment's bad. You know, it's still up here. Rest deteriorating. So neutral to bearish. And, kind of the way it has been. Guess we're just gonna have to wait for next week. The symbols are 1,000 memories. Well, welcome 1,000 memories on YouTube. Asking questions here. We're here to answer questions to help you learn. This signifies a pivot high. It means that there's 3 higher lows to the left and right. It's a pivot low. 3 higher lows to the left and right. You just follow the trend of pivots. And obviously, the smaller the time frame you go into, the more pivots you get. All right, Dan, all yours for the last day of 2020.
Dan went to the beach. He says nothing's going on today.
Oh, well, think anybody's on the beach, Dan?
Absolutely. This is Fort Lauderdale. Actually, yeah, the area is slammed.
Well, people come down there with their, I hope they all got masks around their heads.
Yeah, right. All right, all our opens look fine. So any questions, just ask. Got a couple gappers here, no earnings. AINC, it's a big gap, it's off my chart. Gap's too big, nothing to do with it. Yeah, Tesla, you got that right here. And yeah, yesterday, that was the best looking thing. Earlier in the week, it was Amazon. There was one day where Netflix was doing the best. But yeah, Tesla looks like it's headed for all-time highs. I guess I was seeing some of these little oil shipper container stocks moving this morning. This little penny stock, see, look at that. It went up to 50 cents and now it's on a 20 pre-market. That's some crazy volatility right there. Looks like a pump and dump scheme. But look at little Tops. Tops was moving pre-market. CPRI. This one was, I think, being added to the S&P 500 or something like that. $42. It's like a short-term high. FCX was on our list yesterday. Look at that wide range breakout after 3-4 week rest. And it's a very bullish sideways. So that looks fantastic. Put that in a window. Actually, I have it here in the bottom right. So that looks like a day trade long. If it turns out to be an inside day, then we'll have a 1, 2, 3 for Monday. YouTube's asking about Riot. I mean, there's absolutely no setup on Riot to do anything. Yeah, I saw Bitcoin up this morning, looked like all-time highs. But we're pattern traders, and there's no pattern on the daily, weekly, monthly, 15. So I don't know what to say about Riot. Let's just stay away. Mark, love over 45.33. Yeah, I mean, if it breaks out, I personally, don't like buying breakouts after a multiple bar run. I like the initial breakout or pullback to support. RLH 347, that's a big gap up. But again, you see my tiny little weekly and monthly here. Look at the monthly. The monthly is a W bottom, right? Momentum moved down, went up, came down, higher low, bullish engulfing, price void. So the monthlies has some room. So I'll even if it takes a week or so of chopping around, setting up, that one's worth watching. Khaled has some oil stocks here, PSX. Yeah, it's kind of a reverse heading shoulders here. Left shoulder head snapped right back, going sideways. I like PSX better because you just have a wall of resistance here to the left, but the monthly looks higher. BMC, I personally don't like those wide and whippy bars, but it is kind of a bear sandwich. It's be more of a put spread to me. And finally, Dow. It's a sloppy breakout. But, you can buy breakout stop lows. As always, we're going to want to see what the futures are doing because you hear me saying if there's no horsepower, then things are going to have a harder time. Thomas, Neo, and then MKC. Neo, yeah, we mentioned this one yesterday. I like the 2-bar reversal. Yeah, so Neo I like. And you might say, oh, well, what about this resistance to the left? I'm like, yeah, I see it, but it's a retracement from a V top. Made a higher low, rising 20. So it looks like it should go through that. MKC. MKC is kind of a 1, 2, 3. So over yesterday's high is fine. You got a price void. I think McGraw, this was one I think we said we wanted to do a put spread yesterday. Ed, do we need to remove any stops? Well, Ed, I don't like any stops at the open, just in case you get a gap that you aren't aware of right now, or just a stupid move on low liquidity. So as a general, unless you're away from your computer on vacation, then I would use a stop limit myself, so you don't get still at a horrible price. All right, where did I leave off? Eben, $6. Here you go. This could be setting up for a nice day trade. It's gapping over this red bar, and it's a bullish pre-market. Went up, came in. You got a buy setup right here. I'll put that right here. Eben. Baidu, some folks in the green room were trading this yesterday. Had a nice breakout, nice 15-minute high yesterday. You could see pre-market. See pre-market yesterday, it gapped up at resistance, igniting bar, 15-minute high, could have been your entry, stop below. HUSN 432. I don't know what's up with this, but it could set up as a big trade. I think these are pink sheets um, when you get multiple decimal places like this. I'm not crazy about pink sheets. PED 163, big gap up here. I had a 180 reversal here at the 200. We'll come back to it. Can 523. So this isn't bad either. Broke out. It's, that's a fair sandwich. Gap breakout. And yeah, the gap's big, but it's manageable. It's not gapping up to 750. It's manageable. Yeah. So I'm going to put that on my other computer. Keep an eye on them. Oh, this dash. If you all can short this, you can short yesterday's low. It's at all-time lows. And look at this crazy 15-minute chart. That is a picture of somebody is supporting it there at 140. And when they decide to walk away from their bids, that looks like it's going to swan dive. And then you got an upside shakeout right here, right after 3 p.m. yesterday. I tried shorting it on toss, and it was not available. And Scott, LMND, big trade short if it breaks pre-market support. Well, no, because this is pre-market, and it went up and it came down. So for you to say pre-market support really doesn't apply here because you've got a crazy pattern. When I say something about cracking pre-market support or resistance, it has to be in a tight range. Collect, because it was just, oh, look at FCX bottom right here. Go down. Collab, we actually sold a call spread on it, but that's a good question, and I might if they're liquid. So that's going to be the key determinant right there. Is it liquid? Billy down $2, but that's actually a 1, 2, 3. It closes there. Health. I see that gap's too big for me. KSS from yesterday looks higher. RCL, we had a little, red bar ignored. If it can take out the week's high, then that looks interesting, both for a put spread and a swing trade long. Marble, we talked about this yesterday, that I like the weekly a lot. It's at all-time highs. You had a weekly 1, 2, 3, and then this week's range traded under it and snapped right back. So that I like next week over the highs. I'm glancing at the market here, and so far it's dead to, I said yesterday, my closing bias into the close was, I think we were going to drift lower into this gap fill. And that might be playing out right now. We'll see. Diamonds, same. WM. Tesla, yeah, look at that, made all-time highs. Look at you go. Can you believe Tesla was up 700% this year? That is amazing. Glancing at our opens, this AI, a recent high flyer IPO. Jets down. Jets, it didn't trigger, but I still like it. We're going to do a bear put debit spread under Tuesday's low. Um, Austin zero. Yeah, I love zero DTEs. So Austin, just give me the strikes and the premium, and I'll tell you if I like it or not. As Greg likes to say, the idea is how far can we get away from danger? 685. So I got to see where's 680. I would like the 680s better. How much can you get for 680? And I wouldn't be going anything here with the 4 mark index ETFs falling, but so 680. Okay, that still might work, but I'm not putting on any positions right now, particularly bullish ones, unless it's a unique gapper on its own page. Still watching this CAN. Look, that ain't bad right here, actually.